think the Air Force has taught me that I need to dream bigger. I need to dream bigger. Like I need to dream up in 4D. 4D. Whenever you are in the presence of someone you may look up to, spend less time figuring out about what they do and more time figuring out why they do it. The what is what got them there, but their why is what's inspired them to get there. Chief brought a different level of pressure. It opened up doors, but more so, it gave you instant credibility. When I came in, like I probably dreamed up in standard definition. But when I retired, I dreamed in 4D, 4K. It came on.
Calculated,
inspirational,
strategic,
passionate,
genuine,
dedicated,
versatile,
different,
generous,
the leader,
determined,
patience,
realistic, selfless.
Cool. Basic training was Blackman Air Force Base in September of 1992. And the first time I realized, what the hell have I done, was when we got off the bus. And it was like, pick them up, put them down, pick them up, put them down. And I came from a structured background, but not necessarily that structure where I was used to following orders. So I kind of struggled early on. I just had to say, sir, right? But that structure is what I needed to make me the man I am. California, Michigan, totally different. Travis was one of the places that you worked hard and played hard. As soon as I got off work, I went to go enjoy time with my friends, so I enjoyed it. I apologize for my time at Guam, because I lost my mind. I apologize one more time for Germany. I would say that Germany was probably the place that I started growing up. I was exposed to some not so great people who forced me to grow up. The leadership taught me some valuable lessons.
Chief Peterson and we became friends at Ramstein Air Base. Chief Peterson taught me to pay attention to the details, not just with your job, but with the people around you also, both personally and professionally. Damion, you've been a friend, you've been family, you've been a mentor, and I just want to say thank you. I'm excited to see what you're going to do next.
So Lodges was the place that I finally said that I found myself and got peace of mind. So I slowed down, I learned a lot, I still went to school, got educated, and that's when I started making that transition to being an airman. Andrews was where I became an airman. Although I joined in '92, I didn't become an airman until I got to Andrews.
We used to work together on Andrews Air Force Base. Well, some of the things that Chief Peterson taught me, one of the most key things is how to save money and how to have multiple hustles. Chief Peterson was always about that grind and making things happen. Keep looking up, because ain't nothing down but dirt. But keep giving back, so others will follow behind you. So they'll have the opportunity to excel like you have done. Always bring somebody with you, because you never achieve success by yourself.
The assignment that impacted me the most, Bowling Air Force Base. Now I'm an airman and I'm looking for bigger and better challenges, so to speak. Bowling was when I became an enlisted aide. So if you can imagine, my first time actually speaking to a general, and I'm interviewing in Burger King. Nervous. That was my first time where I truly stepped out of my comfort zone. But that location is what I needed. I just became an airman, and now I'm working in the home of a 3-star general. I couldn't cook, and I took a job where you had to cook every day. Confidence grew, comfort level grew. I would say that I got comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that was my first exposure to saying, be you. But once I did that, there was no turning back. My actual philosophy is help, and help means heart, effort, legacy, and perspective. I understand that at times I will make mistakes. Those mistakes will come from heart, an actual place of love. Second is effort. I'm gonna always give people more effort, right? That's just me. I'm gonna always make sure that I give back. Legacy is not about me. It's about making people better. Not necessarily making the Air Force better, but making people better. And then perspective. So when I would come to work, I would try to constantly tell myself that the only difference between a good day and a bad day is your perspective. So even when I was going through something challenging, I would try to be upbeat and smile so I can make sure I can help someone else out.
Congratulations on this glorious day that we get to celebrate your honored service, your selfless sacrifices, and so much more that you did for our airmen. I would be remiss without saying thank you from the bottom of my heart for the time that you've invested in me as a fellow airman and as a chief. Not everybody gets the opportunity to serve this great nation. Not everybody is willing to serve this great nation. And DP, you did it with pizzazz, brother. You did it with pizzazz. I wish you nothing but success in the next chapter. We love you, and we are so thankful to have you along our side through the last 30 years that you've poured into this great country.
My inspiration started off as my parents, right? When I first joined the Air Force, I wanted to make my parents proud. I wanted to make sure that after it was said and done, whenever that was, 4 years, 20 years, my parents were proud.
I'm Damion's stepdad. As far as him joining the Air Force, I thought it was a great idea. Just before his graduation, we talked about him going to a technical school. But honestly, I thought he'd get a more rounded education by joining the Air Force. And Damion's like a chess player, always moving forward, but protecting what's behind him. Son, I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. You did 20 plus years, and you couldn't have gotten any better.
So my mother was the type that she's always positive. Always. She's the one that always say, baby, it's gonna be all right. God got you. So that always resonated with me, right? So that's what I grew up seeing. So that kind of bled into me. That's kind of what led to my leadership style later on.
I am Chief Peterson's mother. He's always been a practical kind of kid. He sees and hears, and sometimes he doesn't always say what's on his mind, but trust me, he's given it a lot of thought. I remember when Damion was about to graduate high school and we talked about him going to a technical school. If you really want to go, I'm going to write this check and you're going to go to school. So I wrote the check, the recruiter came, we sat down, had a talk about his curriculum and all that stuff. He walked away with the check, and in my mind, Damion was all set to go to technical school. A week later, Damion comes to me and says, Mom, I got something to tell you. I decided I'm going to join the Air Force. And I said, boy, you had me write that check and you're not going? He said, Mama, I already called the school and told them, send my mama check back. You're a wonderful son, and I am so extremely proud of you. Keep God first. Continue to press on, son. Moms loves you very much.
Pops. He was huge, right? So although he actually worked an actual job at the plant, like he made his name, so to speak, off DJing. He was a local rock star. Amongst all that, he always was teaching. Pops would have everything tied to a lesson. So I go to Pops' house one day. I say, Pops, I got this date. I need about $20. So mind you, I show up, I'm dressed. I'm Like the date is about to start in about 30, 45 minutes. Pop said, yeah, so I'm gonna give you the $20. I just need you to wash my car. Pops, you see me right now? I got on this cross-colors outfit. Like I'm clean. It's daytime. Nah, son. Like I need you to go wash this car. That was a lesson that I need to earn that money. Even when he was teaching me and I didn't understand it or I didn't like it, appreciate it, he was always teaching. That lesson stuck with me now for a lifetime.
Growing up as a little guy, he's very, very quiet, very shy. He's just what you would call a sweet kid. That's what he would be called, a sweet kid. That's a good, down-to-earth kid. Even to this day, he's that way. You know, he excels, but you know, but he does it in a way that you can't see it, but he moves forward. I'll never forget Damion coming over to my house, and he said, Pops, you want to guess what happened? Him and his friend, it went over to my grandmother's house. That's Lily Mae. He said, Dad, I went to her door, knocked on her door, nobody came. I looked up through the glass, and there she was, running through the house naked. I thought that was so funny. I can't think of another person who reminds me of Damion. Not one. Don't waste time. Life is so short and you don't know it until you get older, then you realize, whoa. So just live your life and enjoy your life and try to be as happy as much as you possibly can and treat other people right.
When I truly committed and I truly consider myself being confident up in my skills, to now being able to apply those skills and also teach those skills to others. So Right Pat was the place that I practiced mentoring, that I got confident up in mentoring and actually developing others. Also where I met chiefs who really cared about taking care of individuals, which isn't something that I really experienced younger in my career.
Oh, hey there. You look back in history, you look at the greatest duos, they span comedy, music, sports. Some of the top that come to mind might be Abbott Costello, Hall and Oates, Montana Rice, Shaq and Kobe. When the Air Force and the enlisted aid world, you have Peterson and Charney. And I met Damion Peterson in December of 2008. We became co-workers in January of 2009, and we spanned 4.5 years of the most dynamic enlisted aid team that the Air Force has ever seen. This is, most of you know, Pete's from Michigan, and it just so happens I'm from Michigan as well. So the transition of being co-workers and really getting our families together to being one big happy family didn't take much. It's been wonderful being Pete's co-worker. Definitely miss him. The 4.5 years were great. The message from Tina I send to you and Chris, especially you on your retirement. I know Chris still has some years. Enjoy the time, enjoy retirement. We definitely hope to see you once everyone does get settled and fully retired, where we can make more memories. Love you guys.
Well, here we go. My name is Verlinda Blake, and I had the pleasure of being Chief Peterson's supervisor. And when I say pleasure, it was a pleasure to have someone that can work for you, that does what he needs to do, that doesn't have to be told what he needs to do, that comes in an office and handles everything in a professional manner. And I will tell you one thing about him that really impressed me that I used today was he was fearless when it came down to making things happen. His leadership skills was impeccable, undeniable. The support system that he's given to his family and friends, I would like to say I wish you much success in all your endeavors. I know you got it. It has been a pleasure to get to know you, to be your supervisor, and to get to know you outside of that as a friend. And welcome to the civilian world.
What took me so long to become an airman is because I didn't see people that looked like me in leadership positions. I didn't see African-American men that I wanted to be like. Then I met Chief Ray. Chief Ray was somebody that we affectionately called Yoda. Short, boisterous, loud, but he loved people. He loved to take care of people. So Chief Ray gave me the hope that I needed, and to say that making chief ain't bad. Making chief is a good thing because it allows you the opportunity to take care of more people.
My name is Chief Master Sergeant Steve Ray. Pete's a good guy, a good friend, and basically how I know Pete, I was his chief at the time and I'm his mentor. Something that Pete has taught me over the years is to be myself, to be strong. One of the best ways I can describe Pete is he's a stand-up guy. With Pete, you know what you was getting. He didn't cut corners, he told it like it was, and that's the way it should always be. One of my biggest things that I admire about you is that you made chief, okay? Another thing is that, you know, if all chiefs, we're people of our bond, our words are bond. So again, man, wishing you well and Godspeed to you and your family. And I know you do good in your next retirement job, and let's keep in contact. Thanks again, Pete. Love you, man. Bye-bye.
Kunsan. I consider Kunsan a surviving advanced location. It was my first time where I was a chief, right? That was the first place I was that people called me chief. Having that actual environment of chiefs in the dorms, that mentorship, that development, conversations we had, the actual situations that we shared, I think that's what made me the person I am, nevertheless the chief that I am.
I know Chief Peterson from one of our assignments at Kunsan Air Base, Korea, from the years 2013 to 2014. He was my deployment and distribution flight chief. So, we had an airman that was preparing to leave to go back to the States to go to his next assignment, and we decided to have a going away party. And I wanted to make a banana pudding, and I had to use Chief Peterson kitchen. If you know Chief, he claims he's a professional chef. So when I'm making my custard for my banana pudding, I will use a double boiler. Well, Chief decides to use a regular pot with some water, and then he used the mixing bowl versus another pot, and it's sitting directly on the water. And I'm arguing with him for minutes and saying that this is not going to work, Chief. It's not going to work. You're going to mess it up. You're going to burn the custard. You're going to scorch it, and it's going to taste nasty. And I do not want to have my name associated with anything that tastes bad. So after it was done, we made the banana pudding, and the custard came out just like it would if I used a double boiler. What Chief taught me, and I continue to use today, is the lesson that I learned during the time we were making the banana pudding. Just because an individual was taught a certain way to do something, it doesn't mean that's the only way or the correct way to achieve the ultimate goal. And if you have tried his banana pudding, just to put this on record, that is my recipe. One thing I noticed that he was very passionate about deliberately developing his airmen. And he continues to do that while he's preparing to retire. Thank you for your leadership, your mentorship, and most of all, your friendship. Until we meet again on the level, Godspeed.
My relationship to Chief Peterson is that I work under him. He was my supervisor from 2014 to 2015. Even after my retirement, he's still in touch with me. I mean, he reach out and just check up on me and do the same thing for him. And we just became friends. Me and him, we had a competition of who can come up with the best burger. I did my best, and he won. So his burger was pretty good, and I gave it to him. Thank you for making me who I am now. I know you'll do whatever you have planned, and you'll do well after your retirement. I wish you the best of luck for you and your family on any of your future endeavors. Take care. Thank you, and we'll stay in touch.
I know Chief Peterson from our service in the United States Air Force. We were both stationed together at Kunsan Air Base. At least for me, it was 2015 to 2016, but specifically with Pete, it was 2015. First, we came up with this little saying, a TPO, the perfect triangle. But another memory I have of Chief Peterson is when I first got to Korea. Pete knocked on the door one day, and he took me out on the town. We had some dinner, and he introduced me to the cracked waffle. Man, I love you forever for that. The brother could run down the pros and cons of any scenario, and dish out his opinion always quickly. He thinks things through so very well. Pete, best wishes to you, Christy, and the boys. You've done so well in your service to your country, to the Air Force, and to airmen all around. I'm so proud of you, man, and I'm looking forward to you enjoying this gravy retirement life and getting you one of these nice gray beards. Best wishes, my brother. We'll see you during this next chapter of life. Peace.
Travis will always have an actual special place in my heart because that was the first place. The first time I experienced Travis, I wanted to go back to experience California. Also realized that the airport squadron was a rough place for airmen. And I wanted to be able to go back and take care of those same airmen and do some things that I didn't have done when I was younger, and build some actual relationships and take care of people the same way that I wish would happen for me 20 years ago.
I first met Chief Peterson at Travis Air Force Base, California. I met him over there a few years before I retired in 2019, working at the airport squadron. He was always positive and always kept a great attitude towards anything that came his way. So that's definitely something that I tried to emulate from his arsenal. I remember at some point we started a steps competition, and I figured I'd win because I was an IT support. I had to walk around the squadron several times a day. And I remember coming to his office and Chief Peterson was marching in place as he was using the computer. So I told him, I was like, Chief, that's not right. You're not taking steps, you're just marching in place right now. He said, no, I am taking steps. Look at my watch, steps are counting. So I thought it was pretty funny. By the way, he won most of the times. And I may or may not be using that technique today. So thank you, Chief, for that. I just want to say congratulations on your retirement. I know we touched the subject a few times several years ago. So I know you've been planning this and looking forward to this moment for some time now. I hope it's everything and more of what you wanted it to be. If it wasn't for some of your advice, some of your guidance, I probably wouldn't be standing where I am right now. Congratulations to you, your family, and I hope to cross paths with you again in the future.
Barksdale, once again, was a different challenge. So now I was confident up in myself, where as a chief, as a leader, and I'm still looking for challenges. And that challenge was headquarters, working on the staff. So someone had told me that it's different when you're taking care of individuals, but the real way to take care of individuals is through policies and procedures. And that's what staff offered me. It offered me the actual opportunity to impact people with policies and procedures. I was fortunate, after being there maybe 120 days or so, to get picked up to actually being hired as the A4 superintendent. So that in itself brought entirely new challenges, but also brought exposure. My only exposure pretty much was enlisted and TMO. Now I'm exposed to everything, CE, maintenance, and every FSC had a different culture, and all that was just education. That was crucial because it opened my aperture as far as the Air Force.
I know Chief because I worked with him at Air Force Global Strike Command in the A4 Directorate Front Office, and he was my direct supervisor, the last supervisor that I claimed before I retired. I consider Chief as my family, and in many cases he's been like a big brother to me. Of course, Chief, I want to express my thanks and gratitude for great days and bad days. I feel like with what leadership skills you displayed. You inspired me in several ways you probably don't realize, but not only in the way you interacted with your family, the value that you brought to people who, worked in and with us or around us. You just had a special talent for empowering people, and people would leave your presence feeling like they were ready to seize the day. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for being a listening ear. Thank you for being a huge encouragement. Thank you for the office, the random office laughs. Congratulations, Chief.
With Chief Peterson, when I first met him, I reached out to him for mentorship, and so that's how I started. Was I wanted to become a better leader, a better person. From the moment I met him, I could just tell he was a genuine guy, very intelligent, very trustworthy. He kept it 100% real from the moment he introduced himself. One thing that's extremely important that he taught me that I practiced was to smile and continue to practice smiling. He's always told me about my demeanor and first impressions and everything like that. And he said, hey man, get in the mirror, practice your smile, make sure it's genuine, and make sure you're bringing good energy into the world. Dame Pete, thank you so much for all the memories. Thank you so much for all the lessons. Schooled me from the first day we met all the way through. But like I said, the bigger piece of that was the bond we made. Whatever you do, whatever you touch, it's gonna blow.
So when I came in, my goal was Master Sergeant, bachelor's degree, and apartment. But I realized after about 13 years that all those goals I had, where I exceeded. At that point, that's when I said, okay, what's next? You don't know what you need until you have it, right? That was Fort Meade. So Fort Meade forced me to slow down. I wanted everyone to be chief. Everyone to be chief. And that was me not realizing that everyone's best don't necessarily mean that you need to be chief. I wanted to go 1,000 miles per hour. And every time that I punch it, something would say slow down. And I went through this for 6 months before I realized that maybe it's me. So let me go ahead and slow down and just enjoy the Air Force. It allowed me the opportunity to take care of myself, as well as put more time and effort up and take care of others. I think that I truly went from being a mentor to I consider more of a life coach.
Hi, my name is Master Sergeant Kevin Ali, and I'm stationed at Dover Air Force Base, Delaware. Something that Chief Peterson has taught me that I still practice today is the importance of being a multifaceted, diversified leader. Whether it's his personal goals, professional goals, helping his people accomplish their goals, or making impactful changes. Chief is 100% all in until the task is accomplished. To have a blessed retirement and enjoy the next chapter of your life. I'm thankful for the short time I got to work for you, and I look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you for your service, and Godspeed.
When I go to sleep, my prayer every night, I actually thank the Lord because my wife helps make me the man that I am, right? But I am actually means something. The I is inspired. The A is and. The M is motivate. She makes me better. That's my inspiration, that's my motivation. Every day I wake up, that's why I'm inspired and motivated. Every day I go to sleep, that's why I'm inspired and motivated. Because of my wife.
Damion and I met on a deployment. I was stationed at Mildenhall Air Force Base, and he was stationed in Germany at Ramstein, and we both got deployed to San Vito, Italy. So we ended up meeting probably the first week. We both were at San Vito Air Base, and then he started DJing at some of the events. I would see him on stage DJing, and one night I was just there enjoying myself, enjoying the music, and out of nowhere he came and sat on my lap. That was his bold move, and then from there we danced, and we were connected ever since. The most impact Damion has made on me is by being my partner. He supports me 100% in everything that I do. He supports our boys. I used to have this saying that, there's no worry in the world as long as I'm with him and he's by my side. He's been that type of partner for me. He's been that husband to me. He's been that type of spouse, and I appreciate him for it. Damion, I want you to know that I am very proud of you. I'm proud of the life that we have shared together. I'm proud of the family that we have built. Thank you for being on this journey with me. We have both been servant leaders. I can love to continue to share this journey with you. I love you dearly. Congratulations on your retirement.
The thing that inspires me about my sons is I like them. Sounds so simple, right? But I would say that over the time of my life, I've heard many of people that love their kids, they don't like them. So that's what keeps me going. That's what lets me know that I did something right, that I like them.
Dad very much taught me how to keep going and how to push yourself almost. Not push yourself in the sense of maybe you get stressed or you're tired, but push yourself in you want to keep improving and you want to keep getting better and you want to keep doing different things and new things and experience more. That you never really want to stagnate. You want to keep moving forward in whatever way that is for you. And I think that's a very good lesson. He's good at being a teacher of sorts. Not only by just doing the usual things, I guess, by doing the small things, like helping them when they maybe need advice or when they're just confused on something or, in that sort of sense. I love you and thank you for everything. I think you have done a lot of things that have impacted me and Jamin in very positive ways and has made our lives better. Just a big thank you.
Congratulations, Dad. I've been very blessed to be your son, to just see your journey, see how hard you've worked for it. You've taught me patience, hard work, commitment, resilience, faith, vision, discipline, perspective, respect, and gratitude. You've taught me how to dream, and you've given me the tools to reach each and every one of them. I'm very thankful for you because you've always tried to love me for me, and because of that, I consider you to be my best friend. I just remember when I was going through what I consider most of the time the toughest part of my life in 8th grade, and it was the only time I ever saw you cry. I can still picture it in my head when it happened, and then I just remember I went to church after that. I remember we went to the altar, and I just remember you were holding me as we went. Whenever I go to church now, I always think of you, and I always think of that moment, seeing you cry as my hero, as my father. It made it more okay. I love you so much. Thank you. This is an honor to be able to congratulate you and to have you as my father. And I love you.
For 30 years, this airman has stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this airman stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trade, this airman stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of the history, this airman had the watch. Many times, he would cast an eye across the land and see his family standing there, needing his guidance and help, needing that hand to hold during those hard times, but he still stood the watch. He stood the watch for 30 years, He stood the watch so that we, our families, our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night, knowing that an airman stood the watch. Today, we are here to say, Airmen, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, guided, led, and mentored. Airmen, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Chief Master Sergeant Peterson, on behalf of the 2nd Bomb Wing, your friends, and your family, I present this flag to you in recognition of your 30 years of faithful service with the United States Air Force.
I'm looking forward to making more memories with our family. I really am. I am so excited for this transition because he's excited for this transition. I'm looking forward to a time where he just finds his passion and he lives it out. I just want him to be happy in retirement.
What animal would I use to describe him? I would say an eagle, because once he looks at something, he locks in on it and he's determined. He's eagle focused.
They say eagles are fearless. They always have a vision. They never eat dead animals, which to me translates that they never take advantage of anybody that's down already. And they take care of their family. So these qualities to me emulate a lot of the qualities that Chief Peterson had. So Chief Peterson, you're an eagle.
I guess I would say a bird, because Chief Peterson, I've always felt that he had a unique perspective, and I believe a bird having that top-down perspective is kind of like Chief, because I always felt like he could see around corners.
Lion. The animal will be a lion. A lion is fearless. A lion protects his cubs. A lion basically protects the territory. And that's what he did.
Would be he was like a lion. He didn't take no prisoner and his back was strong. In other words, when Pete said something, people did it.
We all know movies depict nothing but the truth, but the Velociraptor, that's Pete in one word. Not in the ferociousness like he's gonna rip your face off, but in the way that they continually calculate and they deliberately think about what they're gonna do. Because Pete definitely calculates his next move and he's always deliberately thinking about what's gonna happen next.
Probably something close to strategic though. Obviously, my favorite is a lion, but so I see some similarities there. I feel like you attack, when you need to, but otherwise you're strategic. You know how to make the smarter moves rather than just making any move. So,
The animal I'd use to describe Chief is a lion. Lions are generally at the top of the food chain, and Chief is at the top of the food chain.
It's a badger. Once a badger decides to attack, it will attack and it will lock on to its prey and will not let up. Just like Chief Peterson, once he has something on his radar, an airman on his radar that he sees potential and he wants to develop them, or there's a mission or task that needs to be complete, Chief will not let up, and he will provide the development, the mentorship, the guidance to that airman to make sure that airman is successful and that airman meets their potential.
The lion is the first thing that comes to mind. He's very courageous.
I said dolphin first because dolphins are described as having great communication skills.
The peacock. Why? Because it's pretty. He's pretty.